these other, like, she's just a big risk taker. She's very emotional. He's our 0 to 60. She's the one that everything feels really deeply with her. And so we call her passionate. And so whatever she does, it's going to be with everything in. And so we're, in general, we're going to be working with her to slow it down a little bit and to try to practice taking a minute to think about it first. But the fun thing about her is there's nothing in the world that she's not going to be willing to try and explore, and that's a beautiful thing too. So reframing the things that we see as we go, ooh, to, how is this a gift? How can this actually serve the world around? Why did God make my kid this way? And that can be as little as, dyslexia. Dyslexia can actually create all kinds of other stress in a kid. So they need help so that they feel confident in being able to navigate school. There's still all these other things that their brain is learning to do, and people with dyslexia end up being really profound changers in the world because they learned how to navigate in a way that other kids didn't have to learn. Okay? So learning how to focus on the whole, not to focus on the donut, not the whole. Okay? So we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. I can't tell you this enough. It's sitting with adults from 24 to 75 years old that their parents' voices and the adults in their life still hang with them. And so all of us in this room can think of something someone said, either positive or negative, that stuck with you. So remembering that the words that come out of our mouth and how we frame things really are impactful for our kids. So I'm asking you to slow it down a little bit, to think about your kid, to pray about them, to say, God, give me wisdom. Who did you make this kid to be? Help me to mirror that back to my kids so that they're confident once they leave our home. They'll walk into the world having a sense of, this is who I am. All of who I am. Not just the part I want to show the world. Just what I was. I was the kid who was trying to be the perfect package. Okay? I got a lot of praise, but I didn't get a lot of encouragement. And so the praise is the product. What does it look like? You got an A, you're a straight A student, look how amazing that is. The encouragement is, look at the effort. Okay, it's not about the product here, it was the heart behind it. You made me a present, you wrapped a present. Thinking about the effort that your kids are putting in. And as teens, they're already hyper aware again, that brain, so it's for us to be on their team as encouragers. Everywhere else in the world, it's hard. School is hard. Social media is hard. TV's hard. Be the one who's encouraging them to say it doesn't have to look perfect, but it's the effort. It's and channel that in who you are, not who you're not. It requires you to get to know your kid. Have a relationship with them. Listen to what they think. Listen to how they see the world. Try to validate it from their lens. Struggles build muscles to fly. How many of you have heard the butterfly analogy? Okay, good, I'll share. This is so fascinating that when you, if we were to look at a butterfly in its chrysalis in the cocoon, that if we were to help that little butterfly get out, we saw it struggling trying to get out, and we just cracked it open, the butterfly would die. Yeah, baby chickens are the same. That they have to struggle to get out of that shell in order to build the muscles to fly. And if you think about teenagers, these struggles are getting them to fly. That's the point. And the goal is not to make it a simple, smooth road for them. Make sure they get in the classes, their teachers are working for them, they're in the right social group, all these things. But to take the struggles and to say, okay, let's use the muscles for you. I'm with you, we're going to do this together. But don't crack it open. Don't make it easy for them. Struggles are good in that they can build us muscles for the long haul of life. That's what we're thinking about. Not just to get through this next month. Okay? Every kid should have 5 alive. Every kid should have 5 people in their life that they can go to when they are overwhelmed or in a crisis. Okay? So you want to talk to your kids to say, who are those 5 people that you trust or can trust? If you're in a really hard situation, or you need to talk about something really hard, or you're feeling like you want to end your life, this is too overwhelming, 5 people. And to know that ahead of time, that can be huge for a kid. A lot of times it's the who can I trust, who can I go to. So 5 people, and sometimes that 5th person is someone like a counselor. So I'm often the person on a 5 Alive list. It can be the crisis line, the suicide line. It can be the aunts, the uncles. Some people say that teenagers need like 25, okay? I like to simplify things a little bit more. The truth is I think if you know 5 and those kids know that they can trust them really well, a youth pastor, a soccer coach, an older mentor. But every kid does need someone outside of their parents. Teenagers who have a safe adult outside of their parents thrive 7 times more than those kids who don't. And it's not because of the parents per se. It's, again, remember they're trying to get out of the home, trying to separate from us as parents. So they need to know how to have safe relationships with people outside the home where they can question, hey, my dad said this, I totally disagree. They can process that over here. And then come back and maybe talk to you about it. Okay, so be thinking about that. If you don't have people in your kids' lives, now your teen, I would ask your teen who those people are that they trust. And listen to them. I want to know, why do you trust them? It's probably because they listen to you. It's probably okay. There's another simple thing, is that 30 minutes a week makes a huge difference in your child's knowing that you care about them. If you really look at your schedule, I bet most of us don't spend 30 uninterrupted 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with our kids. It's really hard how busy we are, and a lot of times we think our teens, again, they're self-sufficient, they're mini adults as we look at them, and the truth is they still have a desperate need for their mom and their dad. So think about 30 minutes, schedule that time. Tuesdays, 4 o'clock, you and me. Tuesdays, 10 p.m. Nighttime is a great time to connect to teenagers. That's a brain issue. They're nocturnal and they're shifting. But in terms of think through your schedule and see if you guys can come up. And then you want to ask your teen, what do you want to do? And they probably don't want to do anything with you, or it's kind of awkward. But just say, well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to sit right next to you. So if you want it to be awkward, that's fine. But if you want to talk, you want to do something, you want to shoot some hoops, you want to play a video game, that's fine. Just know that dialogue needs to happen. You want to have coffee. Think about what they would like to do. Go for a drive. That's something that's half hour. If you try to make it longer, it won't happen. Life is just too busy. Half hour a week makes a big difference, okay? Try not to get legalistic about it, you know. But the piece is that it's not with all your children either. It's with one at a time. So if you have 6 children, do the math. So, that was your choice. So, the power of boredom. This is something that I just want you to hear. I won't spend a lot of time on here, but an issue we have as adults is we don't know how to be bored anymore. And so we as parents are constantly entertaining our kids, and we have our teens signed up for everything and in the middle of everything. We need to create time to be bored, have nothing going on in our schedules. So even thinking strategically about that, plan spontaneity, plan boredom, because that is where learning how to do life with boredom is huge for when we're adults. Because we end up, again, longing for some sort of excitement and risk, and we get into really unhealthy behavior. So practicing, and really cool things come out of boredom. It's just a funny. It says, we have nothing better to do. So they're just sitting on the side waving. It's great, very creative, making other people's day. I love it. So So just thinking about that, talking to your teens about that. They're not gonna really like it, but if you guys talk about the long-term impact and that all of us need to learn how to deal with boredom, just don't do that. I'm guessing, and like as we go, boredom is like a phantom. So it's very rare.